connected. Hello everyone, please just tell me in the chats that we are live. Confirm me that I am audible and visible. Okay, I will start getting responses. Thank you so much. Okay, okay. Thanks everyone. So just give me a second. Let me figure out the live stream. Okay. So great. I can see the comments from both YouTube and Zoom. All right. I know everybody is excited. So without a further ado, let's start it. So again, I would like to very warmly welcome you all to today's session. Well, the topic that we have today is very crucial in the world of software development. It is software testing. So here we are going to be discussing the skills needed, the coding knowledge, and the salary that one can expect. I am Devashish Khare, and I am thrilled to guide you through this insightful session. In the realm of software development,
Hi Jay.
uh, things and hello, is there any interruption? Okay, just give me a second. All right, so I was talking about that how in the realm of software development, quality assurance play a very indispensable role. So, in ensuring that the product we create meet the highest standards of functionality and reliability, uh, we need to shed lights on the nuances of this field. So, we have a distinguished guest with us today who is going to do so. So, please allow me to introduce our esteemed guest, Akhil. He has over 12 years of experience in this field. Akhil is a QA professional and currently holds a position of SDET lead. Okay. And if we talk about him, his skill set spans with various programming languages, including Java, JavaScript, and Python. He's very well versed with automation frameworks like Selenium, Instructor, and WebDriver IO. And without further delay, let's delve into the enlightening session with Akhil, where we'll uncover the essence of software testing and gain invaluable insights into the QA landscape. So, Akhil, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. You may please start interacting with the audience. They are waiting.
Yep. Hi Jay. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yep. I am audible, right?
Yes, Akhil, you are audible. In the charts, audience can also confirm that, please, that if he is audible or not. All right, I will start getting responses. You are audible, Akhil, to everyone.
Oh, great. Hey, hi everyone. Thank you, Jay, for the introduction, and I mean, I'm very super excited for the session today, and thank you everyone for joining in. So, without further ado, let's start the session. So, as you know, as Jay mentioned, that we are starting with the STET2 program, where we are going to cover the in-depth and sessions for someone who wants to transition into automation testing. And today we are just trying to give you some highlights and wanted to share like what all will be covered. But so let me share my screen and walk you through some of these things. And there are some items which we have planned for the day, and we will be going through it one by one. And anytime you have any queries, please feel free to provide your comments. I'll read through them and will provide the response. Okay, I am sharing my screen. Just a second. Okay. Jay, I am unable to share the screen. It says. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Is the screen visible to everyone? Please confirm.
Jay, I'm receiving a message saying host disabled participant screen sharing. So
Okay, okay. Let me fix that. Akhil, you can interact with the audience till then. I'll be fixing
yeah,
it.
sure. So okay, till we fix that issue, let me give you like what we're going to discuss today. So we're going to start with I'm going to give you a highlight about the topics. So let's start there first. So the topic here, right? So we're going to discuss about the skills first. So let's say that you aspire to work on automation testing, and what automation testing is like, specifically UI automation testing. So what are the skills which are basically required for someone to work on the UI part? So again, depending on the framework you decide, the language you decide, there could be multiple branches to it. But let's say that you decide to use Java. So what are the skills required to start working on the automation testing using that field? So let's talk about that. And this is the course specifically for that need. So first of all, you require Java. So Java is the first thing which we require to work on this automation testing using this approach. Second, we are making use of Selenium. So Selenium again, we will be covering in depth of Selenium, and whatever is required on the real projects will be covered as part of this program. Third, you require a testing framework. Testing framework are those frameworks which helps you to trigger test cases, which helps you to design test cases, and we are going to use TestNG for that. And TestNG also provides you capabilities to run things cross browser and also parallel executions. So we'll see all that as part of the course. The fourth thing, we're going to discuss a design pattern named page object model. A lot of people have different forms of using page object model. Over in this particular course, we are going to learn the right way, so that we can benefit more out of using this particular pattern. And this is the pattern which is used across the industry to get the automation testing done. And a lot of people have a different understanding of it. So we'll try to bring everyone on the same page and with the right approach to use it. Next thing we're going to use is the Selenium grid, again, which is used for your cross browser testing or parallel testing. Again, this would be in combination with using TestNG. So that is another thing which is added to the course. Next thing we are going to cover is the Cucumber, which is the BDD, just to provide you the BDD flavor. And BDD flavor is something which is consumed or used in the industry currently, and using the Gherkin syntax, which is given when then. So we'll be teaching you how to write feature files, how to map your feature files to step definitions, and then how the invocation happens. Again, this is in combination with using TestNG. In the next part, we're going to use Git. We're going to learn how Git is being used. When you're working within a team, you're required to work, you need to collaborate with your team members. And that code does not need to be sitting on your laptop. It has to be on a remote repository where it is accessible to everyone. For the review part, for the use part, even for the CI/CD integration part, from where the jobs can pull your code into the agent machines and then start running the execution, and the CI/CD can be integrated, right? So we need to learn Git also. Again, with Git, we are going to also see how GitHub works, and we will be using GitHub as a repository for us, so that using Git, you will be able to push your code, pull your code, make branches, resolve merge conflicts, but everything, those will be done using the GitHub repository. And that is the place from where the Jenkins will be pulling your code and do this CI part for us. The next thing in line would be, we will be covering Jenkins. As I said, that for the CI/CD part. Again, a lot of people use Jenkins for different flavors. For us, the flow would be that we would be consuming Jenkins for the CI part, where it will be checking our code base, which is the GitHub repo, and from there it will pull the things and do the execution for us. We can schedule it, we can do it
Sorry
on
to
event.
interrupt, Akhil.
Yeah, please.
You can try screen sharing once.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yes, now I'm able to. Yeah, thank you.
Continue, please.
Okay. I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, it is, Akhil.
Okay, so as I was saying, so we reached to this point, right, where we will be configuring the Jenkins, and we will be making sure that the CI works for us, and we are able to run the execution as per our need or as per the invocation, or by scheduling it, right? Next thing we're going to use is we're going to see how the cloud testing works with the vendors like Source Labs. So that you don't have to manage the browsers. Like, this is very helpful in the case when you try to do cross browser testing, or there the need is on using different platforms. So the environment like Source Labs helps us to avoid the need of maintaining all those browsers and platforms at our end. We can simply connect to Source Labs, and we can then initiate uh, the execution using their environment, and that can work. After this, we are going to cover mobile app testing. Again, the another level of UI testing, but on the mobile. So over here, we are going to discuss how mobile mobile automation setup is done using Appium. We're going to learn Appium there, and we're going to use the Android app to see how this is all going to work for us. And so if you would see from end to end, right, this is the course which is incomplete in itself. So you start from Java. Again, you don't have to worry about if you don't know Java. We are here, and Geeks for Geeks is here to help you out to learn Java. So we are making sure that anything you require to progress in this field of automation, you have the required tools and the knowledge to prosper in it and make advantage of this field over here. Now, after this, right, so this is about the skills which we would be covering as part of this course. The next thing is like next thing we are going to see is like we a lot of people also have doubts on the coding experience. So people come and ask me like, Akhil, like I am a manual tester, or let's say that I am an intern and I don't know anything, and so what kind of knowledge on the coding side I require to to grow well in this field, or to make a switch to this field. So my simple answer is that, see, a lot of people have a mindset where they feel like, okay, we need to learn data structures, we need to learn algorithm, and we need to be an expert in doing all that. My take on that is no. I would say start your journey. And if you are facing hiccups, and if you just keep thinking that, okay, that because I don't know DSA, I struggle doing DSA, or I struggle writing programs, so that is not the field for me, then that is really baseless. So you should not be thinking that way. For you to work on automation, right, the key you need to have the right attitude. And when I say the right attitude, you need to know like that how things works. And once you start doing things, once you start practicing more and more and more, eventually you will realize that whatever is required for you to prosper in this field, you are already knowing it. And again, coming back to that part of DSA, that is not bad to learn, right? It is not it is not bad that you know this, or it is not very difficult to learn. But how it helps you is it helps you in your analytical thinking, that it provides you a solution. It also helps you in getting the solutions which you may require when you're facing some problems in your journey of doing some coding, or getting stuck with a technical problem. So that is the place where they really helps you out. And it is always good when you do more things, right? But since in our case, I would not expect anyone like they should be master in DSA or anything, right? Rather, we are saying that come and join this project, and we will be helping you out with even basics of Java. So you can see that the entire week, the first week is on Java, and we are focusing on it. And so this is the most fearful thing which people have there in mind. After this, once this fears goes out, right? After this, other things will you will find, like, as you progress, that those are very easy for you to to consume and to practice. Now, also, what I've done here is, like, for you guys, we have also attached a demo video, just to make you show, just to show you like how things you can expect be into the course. My way of teaching is very practical. Not only theory will be there, but again, with theory will not be boring text messages over there, right? My way of teaching would be, again, by showing you the designs, how the architecture works, how things works, and then we will move to the practical part. You need to first understand on the high level how things are working. Once you get that picture right, then you need to go into the individual components, and then we'll see like how those works and how those components connect together to give you a seamless automation experience. Okay, there is a demo video which we have attached here, just to give you a flavor of what you can expect in the course. So if you would open it up, you would see that we are covering, we in the initial of the video, we have covered like about the, again, the content of the course, and I have explained like why it is important for you to learn this syllabus if you want to move into the automation testing. And specifically, I have covered one topic over here, which is the page elements part, which you can move, which you can directly reach to like after 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Just I'm giving you the right time there, and from there you can start viewing this recording, where you will get an idea like how the teaching would be as part of this course, and you can feel comfortable about it and view it, right? So I'll leave up to you. So this is the demo link, and you can start viewing this to have an idea about how the teaching methods are when you see this, right? I've given the practical approach here. If you would see, I'm giving a demo on how things works. Also, you can see like that we are showing through illustrations how what things are, and it will give you a good idea about things. Okay, so this is what you can see there in the course part. And so for today's session, right, so this is about the coding experience, as I was saying. So you don't have to be an expert on anything. We are considering that people who wants to join this course wants to learn everything. So please come with a free mind. But yeah, you have to have an open mind. You have to be very attentive, because the speed would be, you need to grasp thing, and you need to ask a lot of questions. Once you ask more and more questions, you will be able to refine your thoughts, and they will eventually help you to move ahead and pick things at your end also. So you don't have, so eventually you will see that you're able to pick things at your end also, and you don't have to wait for anyone, not even for me. You can just pick up the course, you can just go to the Google and do things, right? But again, the thought process needs to be defined, and that is where my help will come in. Now, I also wanted to cover one thing. Let's say I wanted to give you an idea about how the Selenium architecture works, and similarly, I would also give you an view about how the mobile or the Appium architecture works. So, so let me share my screen and again show you through the designs, like how that high level thinking, I mean, the communication is happening when you set up the Selenium grid, or when you do a setup on the Appium side. So let's start that part. Okay, let me see if we have any questions. This course cover API automation using this as assured. Okay, so Shelly is asking like if we are going to cover API automation using this assured. So Shelly, as of now, this is not the part of the course, as you can see. But again, I am open to have the discussion on it. And if you are already, if you need that part in maybe in your project, right? So we can have a discussion on it. But just being true to the course content, that is not included in this. So this is purely UI automation course covering web and mobile. I hope you got your answer. But again, if you have questions regarding API, we can have a discussion and I can guide you how you can proceed ahead. Okay, so Rachit is asking like if we have any if we are covering any complex scenarios. See, as per the teaching methodology, right? I'll be trying to cover as many scenarios as I can think of, right? But again, it depends on the participants what kind of questions they are bringing in. So again, every problem will not have a specific solution or the same solution. So it depends like what problem you are bringing in and what. But again, it is all on you whether you are coming up with a problem or not. If you are, we will have a solution for that, and we can cover it if it is pertaining to the UI automation part. I hope you got your answer. Okay, so I don't see any more question there. So let's continue on the architecture side. Okay, so let me. Okay. Okay, I hope you're able to see this screen, right? Okay, so let's start. So I wanted to cover the part for the architecture for Selenium, okay, and also for the Appium part. So let's start with the web part, which is the Selenium server, right? Now, if you would remember, right, if you have a prior experience to working with Selenium, you would understand that what is required with Selenium is that you need to install the, I mean, you need to get the libraries, right? Let me show you on the screen first. I think that would be more easy. So, let's see, Selenium clients library. Okay, so if you are able to see the screen, you will see that, okay, we have different languages which are supported by Selenium, which you can use to write your code, right? In our case, we are targeting Java. Now, the thing is with Java part, right? With the Java part, so this is like a client, okay? If you would have heard about an architecture like client server architecture, that is what is being used when we talk about Selenium. And that is the same architecture which is used when we speak about Appium also. Okay. So, so first thing, so this dependency, once you add these dependencies, right, using Maven, that is where you're trying to say that, okay, this is the client for us. And you using this client language, you will be writing your scripts. There is a second part to it, which is the server, right? In our case, that server could be Selenium grid, or it could be the browser drivers like Chrome driver, Firefox driver, right? Those could be the part for us. So let me show you with the help of the diagram here. So let's see. So what I'm saying is, first of all, let me draw the client server architecture. So let's say this is, these are two boxes. So this one is representing you the server, and this one is representing the client. Now, when I say client server architecture, this is as simple as this can be. There is a client, there is a server, they are communicating to each other, and there is a protocol which they will be using, which they both know. Protocol is like the medium of communication between the two entities. So what is happening is they have both created their own language to have a discussion between one another, and so client will be using that protocol to make a query to the server or to tell server to do thing, and similarly server will reply back. We're using the same protocol. Now making this into the context of our Selenium discussion, right? What is happening? So client, right? As I showed you. So in our case, the client is like the Java code, right? Which you write, and you do this by adding a dependency for the Selenium Java library, right? On the Maven. So that is what the client would be here. So you're adding Selenium Java, right? And as I showed you, you can check it here, and there's a dependency for it, like this one, Selenium Java. So this is the client for us. The next thing, let's say the server part, right? If you would remember, Selenium also provides you a grid, Selenium grid, right? Which is this part, right? So this Selenium grid is another component which Selenium provides you, right? So what is happening is, if you start consuming that Selenium grid, that becomes your server. So let me write it here, grid. Now you would have heard about like different drivers, right? So drivers are like these are Chrome drivers, right? So every browser, let's say your intention is to work on a Chrome browser, so you want to so you will have to use the Chrome driver to connect to it, to connect to the browser, and then the communication will happen. Now let me give you a brief about like what are these. So you know, right, what could be the browser. Like I am using a Chrome browser here, so that is the browser here. So this would be a Chrome. Similarly, you could have Firefox and the other browsers and so on, right? Now what happens is, like, these are something which are maintained by the specific vendors. Like Chrome provides, or Google provides you the Chrome browser, right? And Firefox, Steam provides you that browser, and specifically others. Now what is happening is, this client, this Java client, right? This is something which is provided by what? By Selenium team. So Selenium team is providing you this. This is coming from the vendor specific, like Google, right? This is coming from Google. Now this driver part also, right? This also comes from the vendors. So like Google. So for Chrome driver, this is the responsibility of the vendor to provide you that driver, so that you can use it to communicate to the browser through the automation process. Okay, so that is the purpose of having the Chrome driver. Now what is the use of Selenium grid? So Selenium grid, so let's say that there is Chrome driver. So similarly, there could be Firefox driver, and similarly more, right? Now what Selenium grid does is, Selenium grid provides, it has the responsibility of managing all these drivers in a single place. So what you can do is, you can have a script in Java written where you can say that, okay, I want to run this test. And I want to use the browser, let's say Chrome. So what will happen is, when the client is communicating to server, right? Again, okay, one thing I missed is, you need the protocol name which is used here, right, is the W3C WebDriver protocol. So it is a standard protocol which is used to, if you want to automate things. So the same protocol would be used when we will see the discussion of the Appium automation. Okay, so if you would see so when we were saying in our Java code, when we mentioned that we're going to use Chrome browser, right, and we said that, okay, pass this information to server grid, and we have the logic written where the Chrome driver would be picked up. So what is happening is, all this Java code, right, is getting I mean, this is translating into this W3C WebDriver protocol. Now if you want to know about this protocol also, let me show you. So W3C WebDriver protocol. So see this. Right. So if you would see, this is nothing but this is like the rest assured API calls, right, which is happening between the client and the server. Now, again, let's say that you want to create some session. Let's say new session, right? You can see there is an API which is getting hit, and we need to provide the body of the API call to it, so that the server can understand that, or the Chrome driver can understand that part. Okay, now for you as the end user, like, right, like the client, like we are here, right, we are sitting here, we are sitting on we are sitting at this part, which is the client, right? We are here, we are here, and we are automating all this script, right? So we have written the script. Now Now, what I'm trying to say is, you know the Java language, right? So you use the Java language to write all the possible flow which you wanted to write. Now, it is the responsibility of the client to convert all that communication into those REST API calls using this WebDriver protocol, which follows this protocol, and send those to the server. Server receives them and server sends, and depending on the driver you choose, the driver is selected, and then the request which the server received is passed on to the driver, and driver knows how to communicate with the browser. So and in the end, what you have written here in the plain in the Java language, right, it gets translated into the actions on the browser. And that is how each driver works, and that is how each browser works here. And that is what we termed it as the Selenium architecture, where you have a client where your language bindings is the right word, where the Selenium community is providing you different languages so that you can write your code there using the WebDriver W3C protocol. Those gets converted into APIs, which are received by the server. And server, depending on what browser you want to work on, you need to specify that, and then accordingly the driver gets chosen up, and then the browser gets initiated, and the communication starts happening, and the actions gets translated, and the code which you have written here gets translated into actions on the browser. Okay, so this is how the Selenium architecture works. Now coming on to the Appium part. Let me see if we have any question here. Are we going to do any real-time project where we'll be automating the all type of scenarios? So Rachit has asked another question. So yes. So Rachit, yes, we will be covering a live project, and we will be trying to cover all the scenarios on that project itself. So that you have the real world use case, and you can try to have more. I mean, you can understand more when you are able to relate to the problem you are trying to solve, right? And that will help to learn in a faster way. So yes, we will be doing that. Another question is from Shelly again. So she's asking like if we will be using Java 8. So yes, we will be using Java 8. But let me be very specific. So as part of this course, right, we are not targeting to use Lambda. Okay, that is not what we that is something which we are not targeting to achieve as part of this course. But again, you're free to use if you know that. But what we'll be covering is, like, as we discussed, everything related to basic Java, and we will be covering some part of the collections, the part which we require to use in the Selenium, right? If you find elements right within Selenium, it returns you a list, right? So accordingly, so that you need to have some knowledge around that, so that you're able to consume that data which Selenium throws at you, and you can do the automation in the right way. So yeah, so that is part will do. And moving ahead, let's say on the Appium side, right? Let's see how Appium will work. So okay, let me open another whiteboard. Okay, now let's see how Appium works. So if you would remember from the discussion which we just have, so here also the same concept works. We again have the same kind of architecture where we have this server, where the name of the server is Appium. Okay, we'll be using this to do the automation on the mobile. Now the technology used to create this server, right, is Node.js. People who would have who would have worked on JavaScript would be aware about what Node.js is. So we'll cover that in our discussion in the project, in the course. But here, just understand that the server which is used here in this is Node.js. Okay, and that is what is that is what is used by Appium to work. Now this is your server. Let me write here server. Now again, the similar to what we have in Selenium, when we work in Selenium, we have different language bindings, right? Similar, and those are termed as clients. In our case also, we have different types of clients based on the language we choose. Again, we can have use Java, we could use JavaScript, and we could use Python, and I think you can use Ruby on Rails also. So these are all what clients. Again, these are the language using which you will be writing the code. Again, you will get a library which you need to import using Maven, and that is how the client will start working. You will have to write your code, and again, now about the communication part, right? So this is all client, right? Depending on what you on your need, you can choose the client and start writing your script, and again we'll do it. Now again, the next thing is the communication between the two. So the communication is still happening using the W3C WebDriver protocol. So still now it's a standard actually. So WebDriver protocol, earlier you would there was the name of the protocol was just WebDriver protocol, which was managed by Selenium team. And then there was there was a standard which was created by W3C, and they termed it as WebDriver only, because the most of the inputs for creating this protocol came from Selenium itself. So, but now every automation tool is expected to use this protocol, so that so that the drivers, right, which are used to communicate with the let's say on the Chrome browser, or let's say on the when we say about the apps on the different devices, right? So that there could be a standard, and the vendors don't have to create solutions depending on different protocols used. So that is why there was a standard, there was a need to have a standard. So the standard was created, which is this W3C WebDriver protocol. And using this, now anyone who is creating the automation tools like Selenium or Appium, or let's say Playwright or something else, right? They use this protocol to create the communication between the client library and the server they have. Okay, now moving ahead. So we have this client, right? And we have the Appium server here. Now there is an interesting thing which is happening here with respect to the Appium. Now again, let me write. If you would remember, again we have the drivers, okay, and there is another additional thing which we have here, which is the automation tool, okay, automation tool. And there is another thing which we need, like the softwares. There's an additional softwares which we need to work on the case which you want to have. So so we have like the additional softwares. So we'll talk about this, and in the end there comes the devices. So let's say you want to work on Android, right? So this would be an Android. If you want to talk about iOS, so the device would be different. So it would be using iOS, right? From the, let's say, from the Apple, right? And similarly, there could be other also. Now, if you would remember from our discussion with respect to Selenium, I told you, right, the drivers here, right, are managed by what? By whom? Vendors itself. So if we are talking about automating Chrome browser, the vendor, which is again Google, would be providing us this driver, and we can just simply use it and start communicating with the browser. But in case of the Appium side or the mobile automation, what is happening is, what vendors are providing us is this automation tool, okay? They are not providing us the drivers, they are providing us the automation tool. Now, in case, let's say that our need is that we want to work on mobile automation on the Android side. So what is the automation tool which Google provides us? Google is providing us UI automator 2. If I'm pronouncing the right name, just a second, let me check. Yes, UI automator 2. So this is what this is the automation tool which the Google is providing us. Okay, Google provides us. Now what is happening is, we wrote our code here, right, in Java. Let's say we wrote our code in Java about working with the this devices here, right? Now what is happening is, again, the server here is Appium, and it could manage, let's say, there could be different paths. One is for the Google, and another could be, let's say, for the Apple part, right? Now again, the server responsibility is to manage these drivers and the communication thereafter. Now let's come on to the drivers. So first of all, the drivers are not managed by the vendors. They are not coming from vendors. So there is a vendor which is provided by Appium, I believe, which is UI automator to driver. So they have provided the same similar name to it, and this is like, but they term it as driver here, right? Now, if you would see, there is an additional layer, which is this, which is getting introduced in case of mobile testing. And there is another thing which is additional here, which are the softwares. Now, to work on the Android device, right, you need to have Android Studio also installed. And specifically, you need to have the Android virtual devices installed, managers installed, so that you can initiate virtual devices on your laptop, or you can use that AVD manager to connect to the real device which are connected to your laptop, right? So what is happening is there is an AVD manager, or let me say, people familiar with this would be able to understand more. So let's say you install Android Studio there. So this is something which you have to install, and by this you will get the AVD manager, and you can use it to either create a virtual device on your laptop itself, or if there is a real device which you have, you can then configure it to get attached to this AVD, which will be managed by it. And then whatever you've written in the script, right, it will pass from here to the server, then from server to the driver, from driver to the UI automation tool. From there, it will be using this, it will be connecting to this device using this AVD manager or the virtual device which you have created. And again, depending on the, let's say, the OS version which you are using, or the device, or the configuration of the device, be it the resolution, or there are n number of parameters which you could take in picture, and you can design a device and test it. So if you would see, it is using two or three additional layers here when it comes to Appium, I mean mobile testing, we're using Appium. But overall, the essence is same. You are using a client server architecture here, and you are writing in a language specific code, and then that is getting translated to the required language, and I mean using the required protocol, and it gets translated into the action on the devices, and that is how the flow will be. And similarly, there is I believe for Apple we have XCUI test, which they provide as the tool. But again, I think with Apple there are some restrictions on how things works. But we'll see that in the course, and I'll tell you about more in the course itself. But the flow is like this. So this is where you start. This is where you start, and the next and the other things, right? All this communication is taken care by the Appium side. Required, you have installed all the required tools and things which are needed for this. So this is about the Appium architecture, right, and the Selenium architecture. And I really hope this would have given you some inputs to think on how things are, and it will really help you. Now let me see if I have any more questions here. Sir, I have a request. Can you please provide us all the URLs that are required so that we can have a smooth run of Selenium and Appium? Pratishtha. Yeah, sure, Pratishtha. I'll provide you. See, I believe in using all the reference sites which we have, right? Which is where all the required, all the raw information which is provided by the developers itself resides. So I'll be referring to those reference site only, and will be providing you the links for everything which is required for you to have a better knowledge about things. So we'll cover all that, and I'll provide all the links as part of the course. So no worries around it. And anything extra is required, we'll talk about it, and we can work on it. Okay, so the last thing as per my agenda today, which I wanted to discuss, is about the how evolving is the field of automation testing, and what is the salary range which people can think of on this side. So let's see. So if you would see, we could distribute. We could have different layers, okay, within testing. So let me first create a salary range kind of an interval here, a time, a salary range, okay. And let's say that we have like let's say we have different parameters here, 3, 6, and all the units are in lakhs, okay. So 3 to 6 lakhs. Let's say we have 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs, 15, 20, 30, and 30 plus. Okay. Now, depending on the level you are in, right? There could be multiple levels. Let's say there could be a level which is the junior level, right? Someone who is starting fresh in the automation field, right? Depending on the company you get chosen in, right? Or you get the opportunity to work with. So the range will vary. But again, I'm just giving you a general idea what you can expect in this field. So this is the junior level. The next level would be the mid level. When I say mid level, this is like a, let's say it's a QA, right? QA level. This is like a senior QA. And let's say the next level could be the lead level. Okay. And the next level could be, let's say, the manager level. Okay. Now, when it comes to junior level, what I can say is that anyone who is starting fresh, right, with respect to automation, I think that person will be able to fall into this range, which is from 3 to 6 lakhs. Again, depending on the company and or depending on the skill set being asked. But it could be even more. I'm not saying that it has to be here only. No, it could even move ahead. But that is the general trend which I'm speaking about. And it all depends on the need and all the company you're getting hired for. Second is like the mid level, where the person is like a senior QA, right? And he wants to work on it. So it could be like from this range, right? Starting from 6 lakhs, it could go to the 12 lakh range. Again, general sense. It could be even more about this. Great. Now, the next level, which is in the hierarchy, the next level comes is the lead. Lead is someone who is managing the team. I mean, who technically leads the team and a small unit of people, and it is his responsibility to drive the technical decisions within the group which he holds. And this person is reporting to the manager, right? And this is the level how it moves, right? The junior to mid and mid to and then to the manager part. Now, again, lead, I feel like depending on the year of experience and the company you are in, you can expect something between 10 to 20. Okay. And even more again, there is no limit on the upper side. Depending on the skills you bring in, depending on the need which the company has about for your skills or for a person like you, there is no limit on the upper side. There can never be, right? And company is ready to share or provide the necessary perks or the things on the monetary side to the candidate, to the deserving candidate, right? Now coming on to the next part, which is the manager part. I think for the manager part, again, it varies, right? And I would say it would vary from 15 and it could go on and on. Okay. But again, it all depends what kind of an experience you hold in terms of years and the skill set you possess. So automation testing is a very evolving field and people are doing a lot of things here. So if you are starting your journey and to be moving to the automation side, or you are struggling with it, this is the best course which you can get, and I will make sure that you get all the required inputs and the information, and your questions are getting answered, so that any thoughts you have, any query you have, it is getting resolved. But again, what I expect from you all is the practice part. If we are asking for a practice on a particular use case, or any let's say any program is given to you, I expect that that it needs to be provided from, it should come from you rather than me asking it. So if you come with that mindset that this is your course, and you will be the end, I mean, this is something from which you will benefit, right? So if you come with that mindset and you are ready to work hard in this case, I will make sure that you get your answers right, you get what you require to know to work on a project. And this is what I wanted to share today. I really hope you like this session. And let me see if you have another question to ask. Okay, I don't see any more questions on the live feed. But yeah, I'm always available. So you can reach out to Geeks for Geeks team, and they can direct you towards me, and I can take it from there. But I hope that you join the session, you join the course, and you benefit a lot from this. And we'll see how you transform from today to the once the journey ends by the end of the course. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. Please provide your or please provide like how did you like the session or not today's, and did you benefited from the discussion we had in the today's session. I look forward to your comments if there are any. But thank you so much for joining. Okay. I don't see any more questions, so I think we're good, right? And again, as Jay mentioned, there is a sale going on, right, on form of. So I think Jay already shared. So if interested, please use that code. You will get a better discount, and you can enroll into the course. I think we are good. Let's see in the next session what if we can connect again. Thank you so
Hello,
much.
okay.
Yep. Hi.
Yeah, I'm glad to this side. Actually, brief us on like what kind of hands-on project will be working on like in this course.
What kind of hands-on? Okay. See,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So I'm planning to use an e-commerce site. Okay. And we'll be doing all the we'll be selecting all the practical scenarios, right? Whatever are possible. Like let's say that while testing an e-commerce site, if you what is the flow which you can take? Let's say that you log into an application, you search for some items, you add those items to a cart, and then let's say you move to the payment side. And I mean, there could be multiple flows, right? And first of all, the it requires, when you're discussing about these kind of flows, you need to understand that we are using page object model hierarchy, I mean design pattern. So we'll learn how to design those patterns, right? After that, the scenarios, right, which you can face in, let's say that you want to extract the data from the grid, right? Let's say table, you have a very detailed table and you want to extract data. So a lot of people have different approaches to do that, but we'll see like what is the right approach and how to extract the data and how to compare the data with the result set which you already have, so that you can make a comparison. And again, depending on the locator strategies, right? Let's say that there are numerous cases, right, where you have to generate dynamic XPaths or locator strategy. Like let's say that you have a parent and the child, you are unable to reach to the child, right? There could be complex scenarios around it. So we'll try to cover all the cases there, and whatever, if the users have some specific cases around it, they can come up with the problem statement, and we'll try to provide a solution for that. So yeah, so that will be the approach.
Okay, thank you. And regarding like I had one more question in my mind. So regarding the interview perspective, like are we touching any grounds on that? Like basic interview questions and like what should we prepare regarding the interview, keeping the
Yep.
yeah, interview in mind. Yeah.
Yep, sure. So see, again, the course itself, right? When you are working, see, when you will be working practically, right, and you will be having a hands-on experience on things, the things will start getting clear, right? Over here, right? And on top of that, we will be sharing you the topics which you should be very much aware of. But again, those topics are already covered here. Whatever in the interview the person would be asking about Selenium, TestNG, Maven, right? Cucumber, or how to configure Jenkins, around all the technical discussion which you can have on this particular topic, which is already covered as part of the course. But again, if you are asking for specific questions which can be asked in the interview, yes, we can cover that. And but what I'm trying to say is, like, because of the nature of the course, those questions will get answered automatically. So there is nothing extra which you will have to do. Again, there is no limit to ask to the questions, right? If you have any which is not being covered here, we can take that up and get a practical answer to it. And view Geeks for Geeks is always open, and you can explore the questions, interview questions on the site. And if you find any which you are unable to understand, we can discuss that during the course itself.
Okay, thank you.
Sir,
Yeah,
what are the
sure.
software used in this course?
Okay. First of all, like as I said about the programming language, we will be using Java, right? This automation is based on Selenium, so Selenium would be used. Third, we will be using for testing framework, we'll be using TestNG. We will be using for build management, we'll be using Maven. For for the cross-browser testing, for the parallel execution, we'll be using Selenium Grid again combined with TestNG. For Gherkin syntax, right? To have the BDD flavor, we will be using Cucumber, and we'll be using Git. We'll be using GitHub for remote repository. We'll be using Jenkins for the CI integration part. And once you learn that CI integration, right, how the integration is happening between the both the things, you can implement the same concept in the other cases also. Let's say your team uses GitLab or any other Bitbucket or something else, right? The concept remains the same. The way the things are implemented could be different, but once the concept gets cleared, I think you are good to do anything on irrespective of the software you use. So and again, we are with respect to mobile, we are using Appium. So yeah, so this is what we are using.
Okay, for using Java, you use only which software? Eclipse or NetBeans?
Okay, the IDE. Okay.
Yes.
My preference would be on the IntelliJ. But again, it is not. It does not stop anyone from using Eclipse or something else.
Okay.
So we can use. I'll try to use the IntelliJ part.
IntelliJ.
Myself, but again, I am not restricting anyone to, because it's an ID and someone who is capable. Who has a hand holding on a specific ID is free to use that. It has no dependency on the course.
Okay. Use in there is a using Windows or Linux.
Okay, Windows only, not
Windows
Linux.
only. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything else? Naresh is asking, like, can you cover how to automate dynamic elements? Yes, sure, Naresh. We'll be covering that part. And if there is anything specific which you think is not covered and you want an answer on, we can include that part. No worries. Anything else from anyone?
Just one more question. So there's in the chapter section, I can see there's one module included that's called Placement Assistance Program. So regarding that, so regarding that, I can see questions would be basically from the course which we have enrolled for, and additionally there will be 3 coding questions. So basically, if we are like we have opted for this course, so the coding questions will be related to the testing part as well, or is it something related to the DSA?
No, see, again, as I said, right, DSA has no end, right? It has no limit to what you end on, right? DSA, you can include linked list, you could then move to even trees and graphs, right? So that is not the objective of the course. What we will be covering is definitely as I said, right, we will be covering how, let's say that we will give you a program, right? In the initial week when we are discussing about Java, let's say I'll give you a use case and I'll ask you that, okay, write me a code for this and submit that code to me. I'll review that part, right? And depending on like the response and all, I'll provide you the review on that part. The second thing about the testing, right? The real time situations, right, which you may face while working on a project, that is something we are targeting more to have. If you have a question on DSA specific or algorithms, I would suggest you to even to follow Geek for Geeks. We have a very detailed topics there, and you can go through it and make a better understanding on it. But that is not the part of the course. And what we expect to do is, like, you should be you should get the hand holding on writing a Java program, and you should not face any issue in understanding the concept. And if someone asks you to write a program, you know, like, how to go through it and how to write it using the topics which we discussed as part of the course. But yeah, for interview question, if let's say that you start to pick some questions from lead code, or let's say from geeks or geeks for DSA and algorithm, that is not the part of the course. We are trying to build the capability in the user so that they can start using Java and use that Java to automate things. I hope I was able to answer the question.
So basically, I can see that like they'll be asking three coding questions. So these three coding questions will be like from Selenium itself, or how is it?
Where you're reading that part, three questions part?
Basically in the course itself, not over here. If you can go to the chat, I have pasted you the link directly, one to one.
Okay. Okay, in the chat here. Okay, sorry. I didn't see the chat. Okay. Okay. So there are questions here also. You can share the screen now. So share the week program link to study once. Just free. So okay, sorry, I'm coming to your question. I'm just reading through the part. So yes, this is the paid course, and with what kind of hands-on? So I think I already answered this question. Is this paid course for free? Hello, okay, good evening. As a part of the course, what kind of okay? Is this same applicable for Mac OS? Yes, for the mobile testing, yes, this is applicable for that. The same architecture we discussed about Appium, it works there also. Again, the different components gets involved, but that is how the communication happens. Is there a different way to test Linux-based softwares? See, Linux-based software is, I don't know, like what is really the context of the question, but we are not discussing Linux here. We everything would be set up on the Windows, and that is where the automation will be happening. But again, when you are doing the CI/CD integration, let's say you want to use an agent machine, which is an EC2 Linux machine, right? And you want to invoke things. So there you have to install the necessary softwares over there to make things work. But the idea of this course is to make you to provide you assistance where you can use Windows, and you can do the integration part for it. Okay, coming to the more questions. Yes, it was very informative. Great, thank you. It's the same testing structure useful. Okay, and you shared these articles. Yeah, let me open this.
Sir, what are the during of the course?
Sorry,
this course during of the course?
It is 2.5 months course.
Live session per week?
It would be live session only, like we are having now, right? I think we will share the Zoom session.
This week one live session or two live session?
Okay, so the sessions would be on Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, 7.
Right. So right
From 7
and
p.m.
from 7 and 7 to it would range. It would vary from 2 to 3 hours.
2
So
to 3
Saturday
hours, okay.
2 to 3 hour session, and again similarly on Sunday also 2 to 3
Okay.
hours of session.
Okay, it is completely free of cost.
Sorry.
This course will be completely free of cost.
No. This is a paid course,
Paid
which is
course, so.
yeah. This is
Okay.
coming from Geeks for Geeks. So this is a
Okay.
paid course. But what I'll say is, like, there is a discount going on as of
Okay.
now. So if you're interested, you can enroll accordingly.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Now coming on to your question. Copy link. Let me open this. Sorry. Why it has not copied? Copy link. Let me open this thing. Okay, so placement assistance program. Okay, what I say is something went wrong. Okay, I don't see anything here. I think we have.
I think we need to log in to see this. I'm not sure.
Okay. I mean, you can ask a question like, what was your question? Sorry, maybe we can just go through that. You're asking that we'll be getting 3 questions, right? That was a question around it. Hello.
The chat. Yeah. I'll just paste in the screenshot in the chat. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Please. And I will say one more thing, like regarding this placement assistance program, right? I think I would also suggest you to get in touch with the Geeks for Geeks team. Maybe you can connect with the person who provided you the link for this session, right? And they can help you with that question also if you are unable to get the answer from my side as of now, right? And I will get back to the team and ask like what exactly is the thing which we can expect here. So
Okay, okay.
let me open it here. So you provided me this. So it says PET test syllabus and details. So it would be designed to help students and recent graders who are enrolled in JG courses and interested in job internship in various companies. Total duration 90 minutes, 27 MCQs, and this coding problems, questions related to the course you have purchased, attribute, and next 20 MCQ for specific course, coding problem 3, 7 MCQ. Okay, okay. Actually, I'm not aware about this part. I can get back to the team and answer you. But if it is written, I think it would be provided. So yeah, you can expect that part, but I can confirm once having a discussion with the team.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Sure. Yep, sure. Thank you for asking. Okay, thank you everyone for joining in. I really hope you like the session, and I'll see you, most of you, in the course once it starts. Thank you for your time for your weekend time to place it here, and thank you so much. Have a great rest of the weekend. Bye.
Thank you, sir.